Oh, I ain't requesting nothing. I'm exercising my blood right. The challenge for the mantles of king.
Some people think they have it all figured out, but really, they know nothing. These days, people don't talk enough about what it takes to become a man, and the people that do talk don't know what the fuck they're talking about. There's too many fancy gurus out there that think that you can instantly become a man just by following their course or buying some kind of product from them. People act as if being a man can be sold on a conveyor belt, like it's a cookie cutter thing that you can just put together this recipe and that's how you can be a man. That's not true at all. If that were the case, then there would be 4 billion people on the planet that all act the same. Is that what you want to be? Like everybody else? The problem is that people don't know because they haven't been told. So many people are saying that there's a lack of fathers in the household. Or if there's a lack of fathers, that means there's a lack of fatherly examples. There's a lack of brothers, uncles, cousins, male role models, so forth and so on. If there's a lack of fathers, then where are they getting their information? Some people think they're selling solutions, but really what they're doing is selling contradictions. Understanding who you are is the second most important thing that you can know in this world, next to knowing God and what God says about you. But that comes with knowing who you are. I can imagine it's a very painful thing to not have a father or a father figure. There are some people out there searching for their father so they can understand their source. They want to know what their dad looks like, how he acted, his mannerisms. They want to have a relationship with him so that they can understand themselves, so they can see themselves in him. And I can imagine how painful it is if you never find that. Growing up, I had my dad, but I didn't have much of a relationship with him. You know what? Maybe that's a bit too harsh. He did what he could for who he is or who he was. He was a very quiet person. And when I began to understand the relationship that he had with his dad, my granddad, I started to understand him a whole lot more. And I kind of just felt sorry for him. I didn't like our lack of communication. As a matter of fact, I pretty much hated it. He wasn't a very vocal or outgoing person, but my mom was. All the other men that I grew up around, they were. My uncle was very vocal. My stepdad, very vocal. All the men in the neighborhood that I grew up with around the streets, they were very vocal people. So I just made up in my mind that I was not going to be a quiet person. I was for a little while, and then I just had to come out of it. I just could not see myself being like that. I also made up in my mind the type of person I was going to present to my children, especially to my son. I wanted him to see me and think hero in himself. I wanted my son to see me and think strength within him. I also know that I needed to give both my children, all 3 of my children, room enough to understand themselves. The truth about finding yourself is that no one is going to have it figured out. Not for a long time. There are people that are 50 years old that still have not figured out who they are. It's not a bad thing. It just means that you need correction. It means that you're evolving. You're gaining yourself. You're becoming more aware of who you are. The more I began to understand who I was, I started to understand that I had more to go. I had more to learn. I needed to go further and further and further. That's just self-awareness. Think about all of the people in history that really had to come to an understanding of who they are. Count all the way back. You can use President Obama as the first example. He had to find out who he was, his purpose in life. I can imagine that wasn't easy, growing up with a white mom, African dad. He's somewhere in the middle. Malcolm X had to figure out who he was and come to himself. More than once, he thought he knew who he was when he was robbing houses. He thought he knew who he was when he was in prison. He thought he knew who he was when he joined the Nation of Islam. He also thought he knew who he was when he left the nation. Martin Luther King thought he knew himself when he was doing what he felt was right for our community, for the black community. But he came to a different understanding, and he said it publicly. I believe that I have led my people into a burning house. You can look at the people in the Black Panther Party, all of their members. They had to come to their identity and then some. You can look at Marcus Garvey. He thought he knew who he was a few times, and he had to reinvent himself over and over again. The Bible is filled with historical heroes that thought they knew themselves until they came to a revelation. People that thought they knew themselves until they had an encounter with God. I can honestly say the only person that I've ever read about that had it all the way figured out was Jesus. Now, we're not all going to be like the people on this list, but thankfully, we have somewhere we can go. This is why I always tell you it's important to have a relationship with God. I don't care where you are in life or what you're doing. Have a relationship with God. God always makes the right corrections at the right time. The Bible says who God loves, he chastises. That means he's going to make corrections. Just like you would chastise your son or someone in your family, your brother, sister, whomever. If you love them, you correct them because you don't want to see them get hurt or go down the wrong path. That's how God is with us. And that's what helps you to find yourself when you get those corrections in life. Getting corrected and making adjustments shows that you have value. That shows that you have a purpose in life. If you didn't, why are you even here? Finding yourself is kind of like getting ready for a party. Some people don't really care about how they look, but for others, we really got to put some stuff together. It's not hard for us because we've done it before. You get your outfit together, you make sure it's properly coordinated, make sure your shoes are right, make sure you got on the right cologne, everything is fitting nicely, your hair is nice and all that good stuff. All right. That's kind of how it is in life. You're going to put a lot of things together and make sure they are in coordination with what you need to do. Think about it. We as men have a low tolerance for bullshit. We as men have a low tolerance for things that don't make us better. We as men have a low tolerance for things that are just untrue. Some people may accept whatever bullshit comes their way, but not we as worthy men. That's what shows that you have value, when you have a low level of tolerance for stuff that doesn't make sense. And that's what makes you a man. That's what makes you a leader. It's because you have direction. These are things that are very important traits and qualities when you are finding yourself. It's about the things that you are willing to accept, the things that you will dismiss, the things that you will not entertain. It speaks to you. It speaks to you in your core, the values that you have about yourself and society, how you view things. It's very important. There's an old saying that says that a man will stand for nothing if he will fall for anything. And that's very true. This is something that you have to make the core of your system when you're finding yourself. Like I said before, understanding who you are is the second most important thing that you will learn in life, that you will have in life, next to having a relationship with God. This is something that's far more important than having a relationship with a woman or getting a woman or having any type of material possessions. Those things are fleeting. There's always going to be another woman. There's always going to be more material possessions in the world. But having you is more important. Having that relationship with God is far more important. Any woman that doesn't accept that, you don't need her. Anything that you can buy or have that doesn't align with that or accept that in you, you don't need it. Once you understand who you are, you can get anything in the world because you can produce it. Either you can produce the action that gets you to that, or you can produce that thing. That's just how it is. I dare you to try to find out where and how I'm wrong. In order to do that, you will have to find you first to prove me wrong. In order to do that, you'll have to have a relationship with God. Once you do those things, you'll find out that I'm very right. Or you'll lose interest in trying to disprove me because you're so happy about who you have come to be in the process. Someone said before that being a man is not easy, and they're absolutely right. If you don't qualify to be a man, people like that will always find manhood to be hard or something that they cannot understand or obtain because it's not meant for them. But for you, you have value. You are worthy. So you want to find yourself. And you don't really care about what people think about you in that process. Because once you get to that other side, that's when things start to feel different. That's when the world really starts to look different for you. You stop caring about these minute things that really don't make a difference. You stop paying attention to petty stuff that really doesn't bother you. A lion has no concern about the world that a worm lives in, just like kings don't have conversations with peasants. As worthy men, we seek the counsel of other worthy men. We also come to God when we have something very serious. That's how we find ourselves. We find ourselves by the example of people that have come before us. The people that have done it and done it well, that leave us examples that we can model. Our value comes from the one that has placed value in us. On this road to finding yourself, you are going to set new standards. You're going to set new standards for yourself and for the people that are around you. That's what makes you worthy. That's what makes you a leader. That's what makes you a man. It's the example that you are to other people. It's the legacy that you leave for other people to follow. It's how you instill value in other people because someone did it for you. You understand that? Throughout this journey of finding yourself, we are going to operate in maximum male effectiveness. We are worthy men, the masculine expression of nature. We are royalty, and we don't accept anything less. I command you to go forward and find yourself.
Now, what do you want? I want the throne.